It's been about a week or so now since Honkai Star Rail finally came out on PS5, and to be honest, it's actually pretty decent, which I'm not really surprised by because, let's be honest, it's a turn-based RPG. It's not really the most pressing of games for the PS5 to handle. But as someone that really likes Star Rail and loves that there's now another option for someone to play it on, I thought I'd just sort of discuss how this version of the game plays and how it feels, and is it any good? Now, briefly, if you're a mobile or PC player, the PS5 version is pretty much redundant unless you're sick of your mobile, getting set on absolute fire. I love Star Rail. I'm happy to leave my phone on it for about an hour. Any more than that though, the heat that radiates off of that poor machine is horrific. So PS5 is always a nice option if you want something else to run the game in the background. Or if for some reason you don't have a decent smartphone or a decent PC, and for some reason you have a PS5, you can now play it on the PS5, which is great. In terms of performance, it performs like a pretty standardly half decent 60 FPS title. I mean, there's not a lot for the game to really struggle to render or anything like that, especially when it comes to combat and that kind of things. Now, of course, the game is definitely not perfect. Of course, that's to be expected. There are some hitches here and there. But as you can see from, the auto gameplay, it's pretty smooth. It's what you'd expect if you're on mobile or PC, depending on how half decent your PC is. One thing that is slightly problematic about the mobile version, obviously, is when the phone starts to overheat a bit too much, the game goes into very heavy frame rate dips. And it might just be an iPhone thing. I play the game on an iPhone 14 most of the time. I rarely play on PC just because the convenience of phone is so much nicer. But, if I'm really going for like a hard, swarm session, shall we say, 2 hours of gameplay is a lot of struggle for the mobile, and it will heat, it will slow down, and it will just run awfully, at which point I have to stop using it. And it's nice that the PS5 gives you an option to not kill your mobile device all the time, and there's one element of the PS5 version that I've not seen on the PC version, that I've not seen on the PC or the mobile version. I could be wrong on that one, I'm not 100% sure. But you can pause the game whenever you like by holding L2. Now, I don't know if you can do this on PC or mobile. I don't think you can as easily as you can on PlayStation. Obviously, you can hit pause, but then it kind of blocks the screen. You can, pick the Alt and it'll pause the entire thing. Or, you can just be on your turn and not pick anything. But when you need to respond to something with an ultimate, it's nice to have that extra breathing room to basically go, oh, someone needs healing, hold on. And then you pause it, and then you relook, and then you reevaluate the situation on the board, and you go, okay, maybe they don't need healing. And then you can make the decision to use the ult or not. It's such an easy addition, but it is just so nice to have. So like now, I can pause before it goes on to Bailu's turn, and we can Yukong ult. Obviously not the best use of it, but I can see how useful it will be while playing. Now, admittedly, I play the game 99.99% of the time on auto. But even then, sometimes I'll be going up against something difficult in Swarm, and I'll be struggling, and I'm like, why haven't you healed yet? And then I can just pause the game mid-flow and be like, please use my Bailu ult. And I don't have to worry about timing it properly because I can just pause the damn game. It's great. And as you can see, animations and everything still smooth as ever. Obviously, the controls take a little bit of getting used to. It's fairly simple, standard stuff. You got the sprint, the basic attack, technique. You can switch between characters and whatnot. You have access to the phone. Using the phone is honestly a little bit more cumbersome than I'd like, just because it is, you do have to just like go and select them. You can't use like the touchpad as a dial or anything like that. So I'm thinking kind of like Destiny, but everything, you know, it just takes a bit of getting used to. You don't have access to, you know, you can't directly tap on something and you can't directly click on something. So the controls take a bit of getting used to, but again, it is a turn-based game, so you can do everything within a turn-based timer, so there is never any pressure to do anything quickly, with the exception of when to do an ultimate, which thankfully you can pause the entire animation and everything. You can stop the entire fight for as long as you need until you decide on when to do the ult, which I absolutely love. Now, one thing I did see on the run, oh, there's also this. I've never used this, but it's nice to have. You can edit it, I believe, as well. So this actually makes navigating the menu way quicker and kind of takes away that issue of being like, oh, right, let's go down all the way to character. And you can just do the shortcut wheel. Actually, on the map, we do have the sort of wheel that I was talking about. I don't know why the rest of the game doesn't have it. It just seems like such an easy addition. Like, honestly, if we could have this on the main menu, it would be such a nice quality of life change. You wouldn't even have to use it. You could have it as a separate thing, but you know, it would be nice to have for those that think it would be a little bit faster. I think it would be a bit quicker, but that's just me. One thing I do remember seeing in the comments when I made my video about how awful the pre-order bonus was, is I saw one person say that Star Rail 6 months or something worth of content that they just haven't, that consoles won't have access to upon launch. Don't fully know where they got that information from, but you know, it may have been a small mistake, it's whatever. But if you're worried about having to start a brand new account, you don't. As you can see, I'm clearly level 69. Nice, by the way. I'm level 69, I've still got all of my same stuff. It is exactly like Genshin, where you just have your account linked. Now, funnily enough, if you already have your PlayStation account linked to your Genshin account or your Hoyoverse accounts, it will just automatically sign you in. Because I was originally going to record the signing in process just to see what it was like, obviously excluding all of the details. But when I went to go log in, the game had automatically logged me in. I provided no details. It was literally just details that they had from Genshin and I was in, which is very convenient. I do like that. I'll give them that. But yeah, overall, I'm very pleased and impressed with the game. It runs well. It feels great. Honestly, if you've played the game on PC with a controller, it is exactly the same. It is literally no different. So honestly, if you have a PC and you want to see what the PS5 version is like, plug in any USB controller that it'll accept, and you've got the same exact experience, which is nice. It's nice that PC players have that option for those that do want to play the game with a controller. As far as issues go, I don't think I've ran into any. The only one I found is, I'll show in a minute. Now, I don't know if it's just a PlayStation issue. I'd need to check on the mobile client and or the PC client. But there is a weird visual glitch that would crop up. And let me just see if I can find where it happens the most often. So I accidentally got into this fight, didn't know this existed, randomly destroyed a barrel in the weapon test area, the new one we got. Turns out this guy's not happy with you destroying barrels. Okay. So it seems like the glitch that I was talking about, I can't seem to recreate it. I think there was an update, I think yesterday. No, it was today, I think. Possibly yesterday. Basically, between today and yesterday, there has been a small update to Honkai Star Rail, and it seems to resolve the issue, and it was this sort of weird pop-in glitch. I was getting it all the time yesterday. Basically, you'd pause the game, or you'd go into the phone, you'd exit the phone, and then everything would kind of flash. It would like flash black a little bit, and then parts of the map would load in, like really quickly. It was a very quick render of everything, essentially. but every time you paused, it would unrender and then immediately render again. It was really odd, and for some reason, I could only remember it happening on the PS5, and it didn't really matter what area it was, but it happened a lot in the weapon test area, but I can't seem to recreate it today, so they've either fixed it or it's just not happening right now, or maybe there was something I did to make it happen. No idea what, but do keep that in mind if that does come up, or if it did come up. It looks like they fixed it, which is nice. Okay, legit did not know that was an achievement. Very happy to have it. I can't seem to recreate it, so it was literally just pause, enter. Ah, there we go. Okay, I got it. Okay, menu, everything flickers. It's a weird glitch that I don't know if the mobile or PC version is doing. I'll have to try it in post and see if it crops up. It's a weird glitch. It doesn't do anything, but it just makes the product feel weaker. In all honesty though, the game runs great on PS5. If for some reason you want to play the game on PS5, it feels great to play. If you want to finally give your mobile a chance to breathe, the PS5 version is great because, you know, it's not particularly taxing on PlayStation 5. It runs great. It feels good to play. You can pause in the middle of combat, which I absolutely adore. And the only downside I can currently think of is this weird flashing, which doesn't even work everywhere. It's just in certain areas, most specifically the old weapon testing ground. Oh, one thing that I did forget to mention that has annoyed me is that there is one trophy in this game that I currently have bugged and I can't seem to get it unbugged, and it is the Help the Heron Express to recover all lost side cranes. I did this yesterday because I wanted to get as close to the platinum as I could, because the only thing I've not done was a few like hidden achievements that I hadn't bothered doing and clearing all the swarms disaster stuff, which is its own thing. I'll do it eventually and then I'll have this game's platinum, which I'm very much looking forward to. But I went out of my way to do all of the achievements, and I did this one yesterday, but it has not popped yet. It's a little annoying, but honestly, I don't even think I'm not even sure that's a Hoyoverse issue. It's just sometimes trophies bug on PlayStation. It's been a thing ever since they implemented them in the PS3 era. But yeah, it's slightly annoying, and I hope it gets fixed at some point in the near future. But again, for the most part, very happy with the PS5 version of the game. For anyone looking to play the game exclusively on PS5, you're really not missing out on anything. All the content's there, all of your progress is there. It's a perfectly reasonable way to play the game. You're not missing out in the slightest. And it runs fantastic, which is honestly all that really matters. Because as someone that played Genshin Impact on PS4, I don't know how people can play that on PS4. I salute anyone that can. The way it runs is abysmal, and I'm so sorry to anyone that has to play on PlayStation, because it is just not a good way to play the game. It barely runs at like 30 FPS at the best of times, but that's a whole other issue. Anyway though, I think I've touched upon everything I wanted to talk about. I don't think there's anything else. If there is, let me know. I'll be happy to discuss it in the comments. See if I can give my thoughts on it, or if there's just something you wanted to bring to attention, I'd love to know about it. But for now though, thank you for those that stuck around to the end. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And until next time, where I'll probably play Star Rail again, goodbye.